Good morning. It's Green Thumb. We're in the kitchen, processing food. I want to start this video off by wishing a happy Thanksgiving to all of my Canadian brothers and sisters out there. I hope you're spending it with family, eating a huge ass turkey dinner, getting big fat full bellies, and then sitting on the couch having to undo your belt buckles because your bellies are so big. That's how I really hope you guys are spending your day. Family, great food. All right, that's what it's all about. Like I said, we're in the kitchen, and we have this massive bag of green onions. We're going to process that down. I picked those 2 days ago. They're already starting to fade because they're just sitting in a bag. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to chop off any of the yellow leaves. We're going to cut the roots off. We're going to cut them up into maybe 1/2-inch wedges. We're going to run them through the dehydrator. You know why we're going to do that? Because I'm storing food all winter, and I will use these dehydrated green onions for all kinds of stuff. And if I want to reconstitute them to add them onto the top of ramen or whatever, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dehydrated onions, throw them in a little dish of water. They'll suck that water back up, and they're good to go. You guys want to do this? Let's do this. This huge bag is full of green peppers. There's pounds of them in here. And yeah, we kind of missed the harvest date by a little bit. But you guys know how busy I am, so we're just going to work with what we got. All right? That's the plan. So basically, I'm going to pull them out. See? They're bunching onions. And when we put the seeds in the ground, we put the seeds in the ground in little clusters. And they like to grow like this. They're happy like this. So basically all we're going to do is we're going to pull them apart. We're going to cut off any of the yellow bits on the end. You know how they kind of fade out on the ends a little bit like that. And we're going to cut off any of the dry outer sheaths, cut the roots off, cut them up into little bits. We're going to wash them in the sink, and then we're going to chop them up, or then we're going to load the dehydrator. So like I said, I've just got a bowl here. We're not even getting the cutting board out yet, and we're just going to separate them all like this. I tried to knock as much of the dirt off back in the garden as I could, but this is why we're not getting the cutting board out yet, because no need to get that dirt everywhere. So I'll just separate the entire bag, get them all down into individuals like this, and that'll be step one of the process. As an example, when you guys go to the grocery store, right, and you buy your bunching onions, you ever notice they come in a little bundle like this with a couple of elastic bags on it? That's because that's how they were grown, in little clusters. So they're pulled out of the ground, they're washed, they're banded, and they're sold. Bunching onions. So I'm going to do the rest of that big ass bag on the ground. We'll get them all in a bowl. We'll move forward. In case you were wondering how much green onions there were in that bag, there's that many. Lots. Easily 100. So now the next step is we'll just grab one off the top here. I'm going to cut the roots off the bottom, you know, take about a 1/2 inch off the bottom, peel the outside off, cut any of the yellow leaves off that are not nice and green. And then when I do that, when you take that first outer leaf off, you can just peel it right down like that. Right? And then you have nice, clean, green onion left. Like that. And then I will just chop all these up and into the sink and give them a wash. So cut the bottom off. Pull the outer leaves down. I'm going to take this last one off. Peel it right down to nothing. Always get the last little bits. They tend to stick at the bottom like that. Sometimes you just got to peel them off, right? And now we have one beautiful green onion, and then all these tips up here that just don't look quite nice, off they come. And into the bowl. So we're gonna do this step by step. We're gonna prepare them all, get them in the bowl. Then once they're in the bowl, then we're gonna cut them. It's the easiest way, instead of switching back and forth from cleaning to cutting to cleaning to cutting, because we're gonna get dirt on this cutting board, because as you can see, there's still little bits of dirt left in the roots. So we're gonna get all the dirty stuff done, and then we'll get back to the clean stuff. That is a massive bowl of green onions. Look at that, it's tipping itself over. I have to rest it against the stove. So I've got them all sort of hanging upside down because we broke the tips off, right? Like that. And when I wash them, I know that there's a little bit of water in here. So they're just kind of sitting upside down, sort of draining while I, keep tipping the bowl. So listen, if you guys are like me and you process a lot of food, you need big bowls. Little wimpy bowls, they don't cut it, okay? You need big bowls. The bigger, the better. And I use, when I'm doing something like this, look at, I've already got a big bowl here with the leeks in it, or the green onions. I've got another one. These are what's gonna get chopped into. Best place to find stuff like this are thrift stores, because they used to make them out of good heavy metal. Okay, so thrift stores, great big bowls. They're like $1. You can't go wrong. And don't get the crappy Dollarama shit, because it just doesn't hold up. I have one, look. This is crappy Dollarama, and I literally put the tip of my knife right through it. So yes, that's tuck tape, and yes, this bowl has been washed about 100 times. See, there's the hole. And yes, that tuck tape is still holding. If you guys want a waterproof tape option, tuck tape, 100-mile-an-hour tape. It's what they use on NASCARs. Useless aside, but information helps. All right, so basically, let's turn this down. Boop, just like that. All we're gonna do now, gotta kind of put it on an angle. I need some room in here. We're just gonna grab them, line them all up, and we're just gonna start chopping. There, now that we got them kind of in a bundle, right? There's no need to do these one at a time, especially when they're going in the dehydrator, it don't matter. The tricky part is when you get down to the ends. So, just be careful. Don't chop your fingers off. So that's basically what we're looking at. Right there. And that's going to go into this bowl here, like that. Wash, rinse, repeat, grab a handful. When you have bigger ones, you can line all the bottoms up, but a lot of these little fellas, they just don't work out so well. And if you find that some of them are bent, right, it don't matter. Pull the tops together. Right? Once you get the tops, then you can take the bottoms, pinch them. And then just work your way through. See, like I said, it gets a little tricky at the bottom, but you can just slow down your cut in there and be careful. Don't cut yourself. And make sure your knife is razor sharp. Don't use bullshit garbage knives. Don't use shit. Make sure your knives are razor sharp. And get yourself a proper steel. If you don't know how to use a steel, let me know in the comments and I will show you what this does and how to use it, okay? Don't hesitate to ask. There we go. That's what that whole big bowl of green onions broke down into. That's a pretty substantial bowl. There's definitely multiple pounds in there. So now the next step is, there we go. We have our dehydrator sheets with parchment paper on them so the onions don't fall through. We're just going to spread them around. I've got, I think, 8 ready to go. So we're just going to basically fill and stack. Some trays may have a little more than others. And what I do, guys, is I'll run these for a few hours to take the initial bit of water out of them. Oh, apparently we're missing a sheet on that one. All right. So basically what I'll do is I'll run these for a couple of hours, and that'll knock the initial kind of moisture off of them, especially because they've been washed. You can see they're all shiny from being washed. And then what I'll do is I'll open up the dehydrator and I'll move them all around with my hand and I'll fluff them all up a little bit. And then we'll just keep going. I think we should be able to get what's left on 3 trays. So if you're going to overload your trays, like I do sometimes, just be aware that you will need to kind of manage them a little more. So we'll get all of those onions on 8 trays. 7 trays? 7 trays. I think we're at 7. Well, that one sure doesn't have a whole lot on it, does it? Oh well, that's okay. And I'm going to dehydrate these for, realistically, guys, I'm probably going to do these for 36 hours plus or minus. So it's 3 o'clock. Monday afternoon right now. These are going to go in the dehydrator, and I probably won't stop this until tomorrow night when I go to bed, because I don't want any moisture left in these. So we're going to load them up in the dehydrator. So in case you're wondering, guys, I'm running the Cabela's 10 tray deluxe model. This thing is the cat's ass. I love this thing. If you're looking for another brand not from Cabela's, I had the Excalibur, and I had an Excalibur dehydrator when I was at the homestead for you OG subscribers who were watching me when I was up there. And the Excalibur dehydrator, if you don't want to go with the Cabela's model, is a fantastic piece of equipment as well. I know, Thor. Yep, I know. You want to be part of my videos, as always. Thor wants to be an internet superstar, guys. That's why I put him in some of my videos. Makes him happy. Okay. 2 more. And we'll put one up at the top. Just like that. Okay. We're loaded. We're going to close it up. We're going to run this at 135 degrees. On and running. And in a couple of hours, I'll come back. I'll open up the door. I'll pull each tray out. I'll move them around a little bit. And then I'll just close the trays up. I'll see you guys when these are done. We're done. So I've already jarred up one. That's a quart. And it's packed. Like, it's packed. And this is what we have left. So, yeah, that's Thor in the background talking, if you guys are wondering. So I always find it easier to dump the dehydrator trays into a big bowl, and then it's easier to work out of a big bowl. So basically we're just gonna fill up the last quart. Oh, hey, I have an idea. Hang on. Remember this? Our jar of dehydrated soup mix? We are gonna put some of those right on top of the carrots. Oh, look at that. Now we're making progress. And I have just enough room. Oops. And now I have just enough room to put some dehydrated zucchini on top. Hey, 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 hey. So beans, sweet peppers, dehydrated onions, carrots, green onions. All right, back to the process. Well, that worked out well. Only a little bit left. I know, Thor. Put the cap on. Now we're going to throw some labels on. And there you have it. 2 quart jars stuffed. Well, there's a little bit missing in that one, but that's okay because we put it in the soup. So what do you guys think? Easy peasy, right? And now if you want to use these and rehydrate them, all you do is you just take them out of here, put them in a little bowl, throw some water in it, let them sit for a little bit, and then just, you're good to go. So didn't take much time. I mean, peeling them took a while, but I had my kids help, so we knocked this whole thing out in no time flat. Hope you guys like this video. Another option for ways to put your food away. I mean, this is literally going to last me all winter, right? 2 big full quart jars, and especially when you know how much went in here before we dried them, you know how much you can reconstitute this to. So, all right, like I said, hope you guys like this video. Give me a big thumbs up on this one. It took a little while to get done. And grow good food. Put your food away. Subscribe if you haven't. It's probably down here on your screen or something somewhere. And have an awesome day. See ya.